It's still not spelled
No,
correctly.
actually, it would be intervine.
Yeah.
And just
That-
because I know English, I know that that's not a word.
And you would
Isn't
know
it?
a word.
It's probably a word.
It's probably a
Hey,
word.
Google.
But you would know what I'm trying to say, so I call it good enough.
This is what we
Is
deal with.
intervine a word?
This has started.
Are you alive already?
Yep. This is every day.
Tell me Peggy's not there. She'll be disappointed in me.
It gave me an address and a phone number. This is awkward.
Well, it
I
just
think it's a business called Intervine.
okay. Well, now it's a word.
Now it's a word.
So now,
No,
okay,
a
now
proper noun.
What? Now, okay, now I have a legitimate question for all you English teachers out there, because this is a gun shop. We need to understand English better. If you create a name for a business,
Does that make it a word?
let's call this.
I can answer your question.
I'm trying really hard not to make a dirty joke. I'm trying really hard. My brain, I just couldn't go there. I can't make up a word that's not a real word off the top of my head. That's really difficult. Well, let's just say I did, because I'm smart.
Okay.
Does it become a word?
No. So there's a different. So it's a proper noun. A name is a proper noun. It's like looking in the dictionary for Phil.
Okay.
You're not going to see everybody's names in there. So if someone just came up with a name, it doesn't make
So that means that your name's not a word?
It's a word.
Okay, so it is a word.
But it's a.
You just said it's not a word.
All right. I'm just trying to give you like actual
Actual English?
definition. What's the definition of word?
What's the definition of word?
A single, distinct, meaningful element of speech or writing used with others, or sometimes alone, to form a sentence and typically shown with a space on either side when written or printed.
So you can create a word.
You can create a word.
Yep. Thank you for agreeing with me, finally.
Sometimes alone.
Now she doesn't agree with the definition. She's like, no, this is
No,
wrong.
the definition's wrong.
This is not right.
Hey Google, what's a word called that makes it to the dictionary?
Isn't that called a word?
Oh, that's a real thing. Most definitively, a word can be considered a neologism.
Come on.
Neologism. Once it is published in a dictionary, neologisms are one facet of lexical innovation, the linguistic process of new terms and meanings entering a language's lexicon. Wow, we learned some stuff this morning.
I don't
Kind
even
of.
know what half those words mean.
I don't either, but
I just had an idea for a new show, though.
Are those words?
Every Friday morning, Vinnie has to pick a random word out of the dictionary and read the definition.
Oh my god, I was like golf to come out with those.
and spell it. Wait, what did you say about hangover? What was
It was hangover how-tos.
That's right.
Hangover how-tos.
instead of Phil being belt fed on Monday,
Hangover house.
hangover how-tos with Phil.
We were talking yesterday about all three of us have a day off coming up here soon and going out and I know we really don't ever get a day off.
We have a day off.
When you say it out loud, it goes away.
It sounds kind of weird, doesn't it?
It does.
But I'm going to say it out loud anyway. We have all three of us have a day off that's the same, and so we thought, you know what? Let's go have a couple beers and just hang out. And Vinny's like, I'm off the next day, so I don't care. Her and I got to work the next day, but do we? Yeah, we do.
Oh, that's where hangover.
And yeah, I was like, well, screw it. We can have hangover how-tos on Monday. We'll shoot videos.
That's
and-
right. We're making training.
Yeah, we're making training videos the next day.
Hangover house.
Hungover how-tos.
And I kind of like it. Except I don't ever drink enough to get hungover. I mean, I don't
That's
hardly
also
ever.
true.
Yeah.
But,
It's the
oh man, that would be so. I am a miserable hangover person. We're in the wrong spot. You gotta come up front.
Are you a miserable man with a cold too?
I am a baby. I was gonna use a different word, but
I die.
I'm a baby. And I have one right now. And
I get a
it's,
cold, I die.
I feel like every 5 minutes I'm going, oh.
Or Vinnie has to sneeze or cough. Don't die.
I hardly ever get sick. And when I do, I feel like a giant baby.
Yep.
And I hate it.
Same.
But anyway, what do you mean? Same. You turn into a giant baby. Why is nobody watching?
I don't know. It says custom.
I know,
don't
this is so
understand what that
stupid. Facebook is changing so much. If you're out there, say hi. We're going to say hi to you. And that stupid slow connection thing, I got to figure that out. We don't have a slow connection. We have a good connection.
Are you on the Wi-Fi's?
Yes. Dang it. My cup don't fit there. So, what are we talking about today, Elizabeth?
I don't know. You guys came up with a topic.
No, you came up with one.
No, I didn't. We
Vincent,
asked
come
you.
over here.
My name is Jacob.
So, today we are going to talk about, I don't think nobody's watching.
Oh no, I'm checking
Well,
right
they
now.
can watch it later.
Okay. Oh, Vinny's looking.
I mean, I'm technically on it right now.
Now
There it
you're the only one. You're watching us here. But if it's happening now, is that now? Or then
Stop
now?
it. I can't do the time stuff.
I'm waiting for it. Hey, hi.
You just time travel.
I said hi Vinnie a while ago.
Yeah. And it just now showed up. So when you're looking at it now, did it really happen now?
No, it happened now for me, but it was.
No, it
me.
happened for you in both places at the same time. We just did that
But
whole
I just saw you point at me on my phone.
So we're in a black hole.
Yeah. Sweet.
Jack.
All right. So today, what we're going to talk about, apparently amongst ourselves, because nobody even knows that we're doing this thing right now.
Maybe the Facebooks didn't publish the.
I mean, that's true. I did. Only way I found it was by going to our Facebook page.
Do it again. Finish this and redo it.
Closing it, and I'm going again.
Because that's BS, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's dumb.
Yeah, because my notifications, it never popped up.
Weird.
Do it again.
So do what? Kill this? Okay.
Do it.
You do it. You're up front. We'll see you in a minute.
Okay, bye. Do we do the coffee again?
I mean, I feel
My
like
coffee's full.
Oh, I feel like you can pretend though.
Remember, we already talked about pretending. We're already prepared
Wait,
for
I
it.
can't say
Okay.
that you're going to pretend because I just
So-
told you you're going to.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Okay.
you do. No,
All right, let's go. Let's go fill up my coffee. Vinny, you got to come over here and make sounds.
Jackpot.
That sounds like a bad challenge.
You're welcome.
Okay, so pretend I'm filling my coffee cup. Here we go.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
I'm so glad you went that direction and not the other direction.
What direction were you
What
thinking?
direction were you thinking?
What does it sound like when you put coffee in your coffee cup?
It sounds like I'm filling my cup of coffee.
Yeah. What do you think it sounds
Yeah. I don't understand.
A man taking a pee in a toilet. There you go. I said it. That's what it sounds like.
All right, we're trying this again.
Round two.
So if you're just tuning in and you're confused, Facebook apparently hates us and is not publishing the fact that we are live. So nobody was on the first one, and it was fantastic. You got to go back and watch the whole thing. It's way worth it. So, at any rate, we're just going to start talking about the topic because we don't have a super long time today. We got stuff going on, places to be, people to yell at, so on. So the topic for
Still nothing. Screw you, Facebook.
the topic for today is when should you, or when do you, should you, do you, whatever, intervene in a verbal argument or physical argument. Come in here. And why? Vinny just freaking ran away. He's like, nope, I'm out.
Bye.
At what point do you feel comfortable intervening? And do you have a legal right to intervene? Let's just say it's a verbal altercation. You walking down the street and you see two people obviously frustrated with each other and having words. What do you do?
Go away.
Go away.
I would. It depends on my. I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy question to answer because there's lots of variables. Are you with your family? Are you by yourself? Is it you and your husband?
Do I have my
is
gun
it
on?
Is it with you and the kids? Now, okay, so that's interesting. If you have a gun on, let's just say it's you and your husband, okay? And you both are carrying, and you come up on two chicks standing in the parking lot of Schnucks arguing. I mean, like, you could tell they're not just having an intense conversation. They're mad at each other, and they're starting to get loud. What do you do?
I only want to be responsible for violence. Like, I only want to apply myself to prevent violence. Now, words can definitely escalate to violence, but sometimes an extra person coming in, especially one of the same gender, I think, can cause a posturing effect. Like, who do you think you are? Get out of here. You don't know anything about us. Mind your business. And I feel like a third person entering a verbal altercation like that would have this posturing effect to where the other person, given that they're the same gender, I think that makes a difference. I'm not really sure why, but I do think that it makes a difference, because if you encounter two men, hashing it out, and I don't know, but I think men are used to breaking up fights a little bit different. Women are.
It's kind of interesting you said that, because when Vinnie and I were talking this morning, we similar type of thing. We didn't think about the guns, but I want to let's go down that avenue first before I sidetrack us. If
I insert myself into a altercation, whether it's verbal or physical, I have a gun on. And even if
so all of a sudden a situation that may or may not have a gun definitively does have a gun.
Absolutely. And even if they're fighting over, I don't know, something really dumb, like you took the last payday candy bar. I mean, that's worth fighting over. I'm just kidding. But it's really dumb. But if I insert myself, who knows what people are willing to escalate to violence for? And even if it only got to the point where we're pushing each other around or punching each other in the face, what if my shirt came up and my gun was exposed, and one of them started freaking out, saying, she's got a gun, and then someone across the parking lot decides to come over and take care of business or insert themselves, and then it just becomes this mass amount of chaos. Or if my gun is exposed, that immediately escalates the situation. Or the amount of physical force, let's say both of these girls decide to team up on me, and they're much bigger and stronger than I am. Now there's a disparity of force. Now what am I going to defend myself with? Because I can no longer defend myself with physical force, because I could be overcome. So the gun's always involved. If you carry a gun, you always have to consider that there's a gun there. And it could turn into an armed confrontation. That sucks.
Yeah. And in general, general rule of thumb is don't get involved. In my opinion, this is what I typically tell my students: is be a good witness. If you want to, if it doesn't look like the situation is going to escalate to the point of bullets flying and all that stuff. Holy cow! I don't know if you guys could hear that, but some big ass geese just landed on the roof. Anyway, be a good witness. What my general statement to people is, if two dudes want to duke it out in the parking lot, have at it. I don't care. It's not my problem. If they want to punch each other in the face a couple of times, and then hopefully buy each other a beer or a sandwich afterwards and call it good. Now, where I feel some responsibility is if I am sitting there watching and person A gets knocked down by person B, and person B then proceeds to start kicking them in the face or stomping them on the head or something, at that point I feel like I have a duty to try to stop person B from killing A. But do I? Like, what?
Yeah.
What if I didn't? What if I walked in the middle of it and person B was defending themselves? Right? These are all things you have to consider. So what I will typically tell people is, if you haven't seen the whole situation, and if you turn when you hear somebody screaming, you haven't seen the whole situation.
You're right.
You have.
Oh,
If all of a sudden it gets your attention because somebody yells a profanity really loud, or just the words start coming out louder, and they're 30 feet away from you in a parking lot, and they didn't have your attention before that, and you hear somebody yelling and you turn, you've already missed the start of it.
So, what if? Okay, so we got to go down the what if path.
Can you what if with Vinnie? I have really got to go blow my nose. Like, really bad.
Okay, go away.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
What if?
so I actually saw this on a video, and it messes with me because it's so. Anyway, okay, so there's this video that I saw of this chick, very small lady, in her, what I'm assuming her boyfriend or her husband or whatever, just in his face, like, postured up at him and yelling at him and saying every incredibly cruel thing that she can say, and like smacking him in the chest and on the face and everything like that. So, it's a girl, a smaller framed woman, beating the crap out of her boyfriend or husband. So, on one hand, you want to be like, what's she going to do to him? What is she going to do? Is she capable of hurting him? I don't know, maybe.
I would argue yes.
Of course, like, maybe that could escalate. So, but just that very obvious disparity of force, a 120-pound woman soaking wet versus a 300-pound. This guy was huge. He was very muscular and everything, and he looked like he just came out of the gym. So here they are bumping chests, getting in each other's face. She's slapping the crap out of him. On one hand, you want to be like, she's not going to do anything to him. But did you notice him displaying all this body language of him about to get violent with her? Because I'm not saying that either, like, she shouldn't have gotten in his face like that. There's a certain aspect of women using their words as violence. Just because it's not physical doesn't mean it can't elicit a physical response in another human being, whether it be a man or a woman. And we got to hold some accountability for that too. Like anybody, you got to watch your tongue, watch the things that you say, because you don't want to escalate things unnecessarily just because of ego. But a situation like that, you're at first, this small woman going up against this large man, you're like, no big deal. But the next moment, she's laying on the ground, unconscious. I don't. He just knocks her out cold because he couldn't take it. He couldn't handle himself anymore, and he reverted to physical violence to overcome this insane amount of emotion he felt, and that sucks. What would you do then? Would you intervene and say you can't beat on him like that? Like that's just as bad as him. I mean. Legally speaking, it should be just as bad. Physically, I mean, obviously we understand the differences there, but I'm not going to go down that path. But can you pay attention to what could happen after that? And where would you step in there?
Well, I think the bigger question would be, what is he after the hypothetical? You see him hit her, she drops to the ground. What he does after would honestly dictate everything. Because if he starts walking away, would you chase after this guy to go after him because he did something and try to citizens arrest him or whatever you want to call it? Or if he then continued to beat on her when she's on the ground, I would say what he does after the fact is what would dictate everything. Because if he started walking away, was she making very poor choices? Yes. Did she walk up to a rattlesnake and poke on it and hope nothing happened? She did that. Does that justify what he did? No. He's still a jackwagon for doing that. Save myself.
Good job.
But she still put herself in a situation for him to be able to vent his anger on. That doesn't mean she's bad for doing that, but she did put herself there. But what he does after, I think, would dictate what, if I was going to do something, that would dictate it more than the action that he did take. It would be deciding what he does after. If he decides to walk away, I call the police and I help her. Because he assaulted her, that's over now, he's walking away. Let the cops handle it. But if he continued to attack her when she got knocked out on the ground,
that'd be worth inserting.
That, I feel like I would.
But would you stop the situation before it got to him getting physical? Because that's where I would feel it. Now I've seen it, and I know what's coming, but you can also clearly see in his body language that he's about to get physical. Like his fists are clenched, his shoulders getting all big. His jaw's tightened, everything. He's chest breathing. He's really, really trying hard not to, use physical force.
Yeah.
But he can't. He can't stop himself, and that's bad. But if I were to witness this, again, I've seen the video and I know what happens, I would really try to get her to stop. I would try to get her to stop to save both of them from this situation. But I'm definitely not legally required to. And me going up to that situation could be dangerous for me too. That could also be, that would depend on who was with me and, the whole situation as a whole. But, I think that I think it should be stopped when she's getting physical with him, not when he is. Well, in addition to that, of course, him getting physical obviously needs to be stopped too, but I would find myself inserting myself when she's doing it. But I don't know.
Let me give another example of something that went sideways, and I think we've talked about it on the live before. I know that we've talked about it individually, and I've used it in classes and such, but guy parks in a handicap spot, and he's not handicapped. And a couple of women, or it might have been a fire lane. I don't remember what it was. Doesn't matter.
It was a fire lane.
It was a fire lane.
I think I know the video you're talking about.
So a couple of women walk up to this guy, and they're yelling at him. You can't park there. You're being a jerk, blah, blah, blah. And he's yelling back at him. I'll do what I want. Screw you guys. Just verbal arguments. The women technically win this because he starts walking away and is going to get in his car to move. Okay? And then, so the situation's really over. But then a man walks up and is like, yeah, get out of here.
Why?
Mm-hmm. And the jackwagon who parked in the fire lane was like, you know what? You're a dude. I'll freaking knock you out. And he does. He walks right up to him. And this is a guy probably in his late 20s, early 30s. And as the person who parked in the fire lane, the man who inserted himself was probably in his 60s or 70s. And there was a huge size difference. It was just a chest puffing thing. And this guy went up and knocked the other guy out. I mean, there was no reason to insert himself in that situation. None. He just wanted to go up and be the tough guy and be like, yeah, you get out of here.
I got the last word.
And he got knocked out for it.
And he got knocked out. And messed up his face pretty good. Now, this guy ended up getting arrested, and I think they charged him with a crime. I don't know. But regardless, no reason to insert himself. But he felt the need to be the big tough guy, and he paid a price. Mm-hmm. We like to say a lot in our classes that we very often visualize ourselves as the victor in these situations, right? Which is good, because you should. If you visualize yourself losing every fight, you're going to lose every fight, right? But we often forget about what the consequence is of that loss. It might be getting knocked out. It might be a trip to the hospital. It might be a bump on the head. It might be death. Right? You don't know. If you insert yourself, you have to take that risk and know that there is a chance, and probably a pretty good one, that you're going to lose that fight. And where does that take you? Is that worth it? Is the loss of the fight worth it for you to intervene? In some cases, that answer might be yes. In a lot of cases, that answer is going to be no. It's just not worth it.
And
Adam, good morning.
And what situation, these are good questions to ask yourself ahead of time, because knowing what you're willing to fight for and going through the whole thing and all the way through the end, worst case and best case, you have to go through worst case and best case. You have to evaluate both and then choose which one has the least consequences. What are you willing to fight for? A man and another man brawling with each other.
Such a huge question to ask yourself right now.
A man,
not in the moment.
A man and a woman fighting each other. A woman getting physical with a man. What about a kid? I saw. This is a different country. This is like an armed parent class. It was an online thing, and she was talking about how kids and an armed encounter or just a violent encounter when you have kids involved, and she was explaining that different countries, different people, different values, morals, ethics, all these things. You might not, if someone were to attack your kid, don't rely on someone else coming to help you because it's a kid. This video, it's gut-wrenching. This very young infant was on the ground and someone was stomping on it, and people just walked past. Like, probably the most violent thing I've ever seen. They just walked past. And what would you do if you saw that? What would you do if you saw this young child walking up ahead of you, 5, 6 years old, and someone comes running from behind you, snatches that kid, and takes off running? What would you do? Have you answered that question? Have you even thought about it? Because in that moment, you're going to want to do something. Or not. And it's just a very big realization that people don't act the way that you think they will. And there's a shared responsibility to helping someone else, and you got to take your safety in your own hands.
I don't think there is a shared responsibility.
If there's like multiple people around, and
yeah, you're saying
it's
that
like,
the responsibility gets shared. Well, I don't have to do something because Vinny's going to do it.
Yeah.
Vinny says, well, I don't have to get involved because Liz is going to take care of it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand. I understand.
But then there's also the flip side of that coin. Not going to say when, where, who, or how, hypothetically speaking. A 13-year-old kid robbing a store at gunpoint. What are you willing to do? It's a 13-year-old kid that has a gun robbing a store at gunpoint.
or that woman with her 7-year-old that walked into the church.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Okay. The target, the threat is not always going to be what you think it's going to be.
Yep.
These are all things to think about now. And again, truly, if you can formulate ideas and plans in your head now, you'll have something to refer back to, a plan to access, a plan to put into practice, versus trying to develop a plan in the moment if you've never thought about it. Bottom line, in my opinion, for basic verbal arguments, do we talk about the church? Did you guys start talking about
I just brought it up briefly. I didn't.
Yeah, just
not much.
So Vinnie asked this question this morning of me, like, would you intervene if two people were arguing? And I was like, maybe, maybe not. Okay, what if it's at a funeral at your church? Well, I mean, if I'm there at the funeral, it's got to be relatively close family, and somebody's pissed about somebody else being there or whatever. I would probably, but I don't know. And he's okay, what if it's two chicks? It's like, for some reason, I feel like I would intervene more so there. But something to consider if, let's just say it's not at a church, it's just in the parking lot, like an example you were given earlier. What are you doing?
I'm looking to see if there's people on, because it's giving us weird... Sorry, I was trying not to distract you. I was hiding it over here.
Which was distracting.
Sorry.
Your attempt to hide was distracting.
Damn it, now I lost my
See,
train
I
of
was
thought.
trying not to.
You weren't doing a very good job of it. Oh, so you walk up on the argument in Schnook's parking lot, and it's two women that you make an assumption are strangers. Well, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
Maybe they're sisters or they're cousins or they're neighbors or whatever, and you walk up and insert yourself into something that's been going on for years. Or maybe they're pissed at each other in the moment, but because you're getting involved and they know and love each other, that they're going to just turn their aggression towards you, both of them. You think you're stepping in to stop something, and you end up becoming a victim.
I have to make sure that I'm ready for quals. I'm trying to be a responsible employee here.
So, if you can, be a good witness. Just stay out, especially if you have a gun. If you go and you're carrying a gun and you try to be the big tough guy and break up a situation and you get punched and you get knocked out and somebody grabs your gun, I mean, what? Have you been punched in the face before? Have you ever rolled around the ground with somebody? What is that? Do you know what your physical response is likely to be to getting punched in the face or punched in the gut or whatever? That could be a very surprising feeling if you've not been punched in the face. It's not something to try to figure out in that moment. It's just not.
So go get punched in the face.
Go get punched in the face. That sounds like a great idea.
You first.
Okay.
Oh, it's not punch Phil in the face day.
It's not punch Phil in the
Yet.
face day. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be coming again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
So, obviously, every situation is different. There is no right or, well, there are wrong answers.
Yeah.
The right answer is if you made it home that day, you probably did okay. The other thing is you never know what the outcome's going to be either. So you have this idea in your head that, hey, I'm going to step between these two people that are arguing and just say, dude, knock it off. And they're going to listen to me magically because they're in such a stable state of mind to listen to some person that they don't know try to be a calming presence. I don't know how likely that is. But that's what you think in your head. You're going to walk up and tell these two people, just knock it off and go away. And it's probably going to turn into you having to puff your chest. Be like, no, I said knock it off. And shoving somebody or grabbing on somebody. All of a sudden, you start grabbing somebody and pulling on them.
They're going to react.
They're going to react.
Not nicely.
What's a big key of de-escalation?
De-escalating yourself?
Yes, you. That's not easy to do. That's hard for me to do because I can get amped up pretty fast. And it is definitely something I have to consciously think about, is don't let this person's words or their mean look or their unwillingness to listen to me. They may not even have the ability to listen to me, truthfully. If they're so enraged at whatever the hell's going on, they may have no idea that you even exist. All of a sudden, they just know that they're getting pulled and pushed and touched, and they just start reacting violently. That's not a spot you want to be, especially if you've never been there.
I'm reading Verbal Judo right now, the book. And this is...
Oh, it's such a great book.
I'm only a little bit through it, but it's perfect for what we're talking about today. And go get the book, Verbal Judo. Read it.
Yes.
Listen to
it's
it.
Inexpensive.
Yeah, it's good for anybody.
Yeah, it's a great book. All right. Any last minute parting thoughts before we run away?
No.
You have to have the words of wisdom.
Oh, what day is it?
Monday. All right. Since we have so many people watching, it looks like one person. Thanks, Adam. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
No, see, I'm watching right now and it doesn't show me on there. Yeah. So I don't know that it's giving us the...
This is Facebook.
Yeah,
hates
Facebook.
us.
Yeah. It's still never popped up that we're live.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's all we got for today. If you need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. 10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. We got all sorts of cool stuff. What the heck do we have going on this month? I don't even remember. Oh, we have baseball targets. Hi, Charles. Hello. Speaking of the devil, come on over here and explain all the deals to us.
Yep.
I don't know what that was.
Devil.
Oh.
Just with
Tell
one
us.
horn?
One horn. Unicorn. Devil. So.
That.
I don't think it works like that. But
Does the
okay.
unicorn devil have rainbows too?
A unicorn devil?
Yeah.
It's an inverted rainbow.
What's an inverted rainbow?
What does that look like?
I don't know. A U?
But it's still colorful.
They're still
right?
colorful?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, Charles,
Party.
what's the deal?
Specials.
Specials. Yes. What kind of specials do we have going on
Baseball
this?
targets. If you shoot the baseballs, you can win some Cardinals tickets. There's going to be a drawing at the end of the month. And then Mother's Day on Sunday. Mothers come in,
Gosh
with their
dang
son
it.
or daughter, and they shoot free.
Jackpot.
Free shooting and free rental. So they can
Woo!
be full out there.
So that way you can get a new gun for Mother's Day. Shoot it first, try it out, see what you like, and then buy it.
There's weird words coming from off screen that we don't know where they're coming from. So why don't you appear on screen?
Get a new Mother's Day
I'm the
gun.
boss. I do what I want.
You're right. Sorry, boss, for my insubordination. Why was that so funny?
What's it,
Me apologizing for my insubordination. Why was that so funny?
Charles? What's it cost to get a baseball target? $0. $0. How do you win
Glossed
tickets?
right over that one.
It all depends on how many things you shoot.
How many home runs and bases and stuff you get. So
Singles,
come in,
doubles,
check it out.
triples.
How many targets can members get?
Just one.
Oh, just one?
They can get two.
Well, I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Charles is
Let's
changing
say-
the rules.
Yeah, one. Unless you come in here and Charles says, here's two because you're nice or something. But it's one target and it's one a day?
Yes, one a day.
One a day. Okay, awesome.
And
So,
you can get up to 10 rifle tickets.
so you can only do it 10 days in a row.
No.
I'm so confused.
10 tickets per day.
Oh, 10 tickets per day. I
So
got
if
you.
you
So
hit
you
11
can
baseballs,
up to,
you can only get 10.
okay. So you can only win up to 10 per day. Have you shot it yet?
No?
I haven't either.
Let's do it.
Maybe we should do it. Compete, see who wins.
Okay.
Honestly, my money's on her.
Is it a accuracy thing?
Yeah.
Precision?
What distance you shoot it at?
10 yards.
Vinnie did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
All of it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Handguns at 10 yards, rifles at 25.
Rifles?
At 25.
At
I'm
25.
going to bring in like a 28-inch 6.5 Creedmoor to shoot it.
shoot 25
yards to
You're
win.
shooting, I think, 10 rounds.
Yeah.
So that's going to cost more than.
More than a ticket?
No shotguns.
Dang it. How will you know? If it's at 25 yards, you won't know.
You won't know.
All right, we went off the rails here. We got to go.
That never happens.
Nope. You guys have a super fantastic day. Come hang out with us if you need something. Come get some training. We got awesome classes going on. We have a women's only CCW class this weekend.
Saturday, yep.
We have regular CCW on Thursday, which will be the best one because I'm teaching it. Actually, Will's probably going to teach that one. Spicy drills this morning. So if you've gone through our defensive 1, 2, and 3, you could do spicy drills. If you, you need to go and shoot those drills because they are.
This is the
super
way.
fun.
I'm only going to show this for just a second because Vinnie will get mad at me. If you're coming in for spicy, it looks spicy.
It's
the
gonna
lights
be-
are off. You can't really
It's
tell.
going to be spicy.
Showing my
But
secrets.
yeah, when I walked past, I was like, "Ooh, that looks."
So, mild drills. If you've done our defensive handgun 1, you can sign up for a mild drills class. We got all sorts of cool stuff going on in here. So, 14803 Manchester Road, Baltimore, Missouri. You guys have a super awesome day. Stay safe. Be nice to one another. We'll catch you soon. Later.
Toodles. Awkward
Awkward.
pause.
Where's the button? How do I do this? Where's the